Hello. Really?
Hello.
Really?
Yes, naturally.
He
Why wouldn't he?
just doesn't want to stay in my arms. I see how it is.
Well, you're not really a supervillain. That's why. You haven't committed.
What was I supposed to do? Was I supposed to murder like all of the patients that go through my pharmacy?
Yeah, obviously. Have you conquered even one country?
Hold on here.
Since last week. Come on.
Conquering a country? You know how hard that is these days? It's like you just walk in and just be like, haha, I've planted my flag, killed the king, and now I rule.
Yes, it's exactly that.
That's
Get on
not.
with the time.
There's paperwork and stuff to do. You've got like armies generally. It's not as easy.
Well, clearly you've also failed at cats. So, since we've clearly established that Justin is not, in fact, a supervillain, let's see if he's an author. All right, good people.
I have a published novel.
Details. Young Padawan. Wait until you have a whole stack of them higher than your head. I'm very proud of this. My head isn't very tall, though, so take that with a grain of salt. All right. So tonight we are going to try to finish plotting out this novel because next Saturday we are going to start writing, come hell or high water, or in this case, fire. Because we're going to burn it all with fire if we don't finish.
No, everything we've got is on the Googles. That means we're burning down Googles, and that's just not allowed.
Okay, but they probably have a fine insurance policy.
I mean, yes, but how long are we not going to be able to access our material?
This is true. We should download it all and then burn Google. Sorry, Google overlords. We don't mean this. We are merely being facetious goofballs.
Please don't ban our channel.
Okay, so bringing up where we were at. We're going to do a really quick recap for anyone who might have missed last week. You can also follow along on this document in the link below. So feel free to read along, watch us in action while we type, and help us figure out where this novel is going, because Justin and I have done absolutely no work since the last broadcast. Because we hate ourselves and we don't know where this novel is going yet. But we're going to find out. In 3, 2, 1, start with a recap.
Am I doing the recap?
Yes, you're doing the recap.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right. So currently, I mean, now granted, our nebulous word count totals for the amount of words that are going to be written per chapter here is nebulous. There's 2,000 there. Ignore that. Anywho, so we're starting off with a prologue of a scout ship limping into town with news of a new planet that could be settled. So we're going to establish those, gold running, Western, exploration vibes right there. Yeah. And we introduce Econo Bishop in the first chapter, where he's working on his ship so that he can get the fuck out of his family's home and, not be in charge of this stupid planet or a third of this stupid planet that his family currently runs. Sees the broken ship, it lands in his hangar. Yeah, well, he's going to learn about what happened and where the pilot came from. Next, we've got Neela Gaddafi. Neela Gaddafi, as a reminder, is a spaceship, not a person. Well, is a person.
It's a person! Just because she's also a spaceship, we're not going to body shame.
You're right. We are not body shaming. Neela Gaddafi is a spaceship and a person. A living spaceship. Anywho, so Neela's going to notice the other ship entering the atmosphere at a strange angle, begins researching where it is, what it's coming from, etc., and is going to notify their people that, what's going on. Then we've got Aisha Adebayo.
You said it right.
That. I really did. I thought I butchered it.
No, you finally got it right.
Yes. Whereas Aisha runs the small little diner that's going to be in this setting that we're writing, and the scout that pilots that broken down ship is going to come in, get a drink in this small, like maybe 10 by 10 diner, and then every one of her family that runs the show is going to show up. And they're all going to be crammed into this small place and all talking with the scout about what's going on, where they came from, what happened. And it just goes downhill from there. It's going to be entertaining, but yeah.
But it's Aisha's big bad day. She doesn't like her family very much. I mean, she loves her family. She just doesn't like them.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the common thread between all our main characters.
They just don't like their family.
Love them.
Just don't
like is a whole different matter.
And then next, we're going to introduce the head of the cyberpunk family. Because, reminder, we got a vote for the punk genres, and we decided to tie each of the 3 genres we've selected into a family. So we've got a cyberpunk, a biopunk, and a solar punk families here. So just as a reminder from what we decided 3 weeks ago, however many long ago. So anyway, the head of the cyber family, Jensen Altar, is going to be talking with the solar and biopunk heads in a funny to the reader but deadly serious game of one-upmanship and figuring out what the others know. Next, Akano is going to be evaluating the ship his family is going to take to this magical place full of wonder and realizes, dear God, they're all going to die. And needs to go get a component from the solar family that they'll have to steal. Grounds, and then goes and gets to work. The next chapter, Neela is going to arrive in the solar land to purchase some reflectors and solar storage cells. Notices Akano skulking through the hangar and has a moral dilemma of whether or not to report the cyber family's shenanigans. Aisha excuses herself from their own family shenanigans and sees the memo from Neela about Akano looking like he's trying to steal a thing. Aisha decides, no, if I can't get them off the planet, then I can get rid of all of these headaches. So she goes and helps Akano. Akano steals the parts he needs from the solar family, thanks to Aisha for help. After a thorough examination of the thing to look for tampering, returns to install the MacGuffin into the ship that his family, to get his family the fuck out. TM. Apollo, the head of the solar family, is going to rant about how he has to steal back the thing from the cyber family and burn them with fire, all the while ranting about how dare that cyberpunk touch his darling Aisha. She could have been hurt. She must come with him into the abyss to find a new home. And then decides to reach out to the biopunk head of the house to discuss things. TM. Neela, remind you, who's a ship, watches the solar family takes off on their secondary capital ship or something. Neela says goodbye to the AI of the ship, says that they'll miss them, and then watches in horror as the solar family rains fire down upon the capital ships, the bio family, and the cyberpunk family. I don't know.
The chapter I'm most looking forward to write. Bye! Oh God, what are you doing?
Just that line. That line's going to be in there, and I don't know how we're going to write it to express the full sequence of like,
there's going to be a lot of syllables. Like, I feel like we're just going to have to make mouth sounds for like 10 minutes until we get the right mouth sounds.
And then write it. Those are going to be some. Yes, thank you. I'm glad someone else has noticed that there was a cat on my chair. He's also now on my lap because that's what class boys do.
They're Velcro cats. They're very good Velcro cats.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go ahead.
No, ladies first.
And finally, as we move out of part 1 and into part 2, Akano stares in abject horror and dismay as his family's capital ship explodes, realizing that his family is about to look to him, see him next to a perfectly serviceable ship, and hijack all his hopes and dreams. Along with, his ship.
A reminder that Akano was looking to GT the FO and abandon his family, and this was the ship he was going to take to leave.
So in short, as part 1 ends, we have Aisha on her dad's ship, or uncle's ship, or whatever their relation is. We haven't determined this yet. And they're on the nice big capital ship that got out first. And it's not as good of a ship as they were going to take because of the part Econo stole. So, like, it's still slower than it would have been. Everyone else has a chance to catch up, but they're still in good shape and they got off running. Yeah. Neela is now being co-opted to carry the bio people after their main capital ship just got blown to smithereens. So, you know, that's happening. And Econo's janky little ship that he put together out of spare parts that is, however, quite fast, is getting co-opted by the Cyber family. So we are going to have all 3 ships in the air by the end of part 1. And they are now off the planet.
Reading this, I realized I don't know if we just typoed this or if we maybe had an idea and wrote it differently than we intended. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened. But reading this last Aisha chapter reads a little weird to me. Like,
oh, no, it's 100% a typo.
Okay, I'm glad that I'm not the only one that caught that while looking at this.
No, I think we had decided that she figures that if her family doesn't have this part, they're going to not bother, or they're going to be delayed and then decide not to go. And that's better for her.
Yeah, and then she doesn't have to leave because her family's going to drag her away with them. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. If I keep them on the planet.
Aisha actually likes the planet they're living on. Thank you very much. It might stink, but it's home. All right. So I think we should open part 2 with Aisha because we haven't had her POV in a hot minute.
All right, so now that's fixed. Okay, so you want to do an Aisha chapter here. I'm all for this. It sounds like a good plan.
All right. So entering into part 2 as purely a mechanical thing is where it's the first first lock-in point. It's when no one can go back home. And now we've done that. All 3 ships are in the air. They're taking off. It's a race.
It's a space race.
But I think this is the chapter where Aisha needs to get in the game because so far she's been literally dragged along. And I think this is where she needs to become a proactive character.
Okay. So I think what she needs to do is, knowing that family's going to be stressed with all of this, like she's being dragged along, and she's not necessarily still wanting to go on this journey. I think what might be best for Aisha to bring her involved is either, as a reminder to the audience, Aisha has 2 kids. Either we need to involve those children somehow. Mm-hmm. Alternatively, now granted that doesn't raise stakes at all, but it would, or this idea doesn't raise stakes at all, like involving the children in some way. But if we were to point out where Aisha, having a heart of gold, decides to make something that is her family's favorite meal or something like that, that would... I
think that's more of a, like, near the finale to raise hope for everyone. Yeah. Like, I don't really want to pull that particular card out this early. But here's the problem. Fair. Whatever we establish in these next 3 to 4 chapters are going to be the main struggle for each of these families.
Okay.
So, like, we know Econo's struggle. Econo's struggle is his ship is a janky piece of trash that is going to be trying to fall apart around them. It's going to be a MacGyver story.
Yes.
So, in fact, let's start filling in some very basic things, which is the conflict of each of their plot lines.
Are we we had Econo here at 11. Do we want to put Econo here at 13?
We can move them around. I'm not too worried about that. Let's more start filling in what their main plot line for part 2. So Econo's main plot line is ship is falling to pieces and in last place. Econo's is all going to be about, like, taking that shortcut through that asteroid field and, you know,
praying to God it doesn't fall apart.
That doesn't fall apart.
Please, space gods, don't fail me now.
Not this time. Oh God, I heard something else fall off the back of the ship. I hope it wasn't important. It was important, wasn't it? I feel like Akano needs to do at least one spacewalk.
Okay.
Do one flashy, I'm a cool pilot shit. Something.
Okay.
At least one, like, life support systems go down and everyone's about to die. Like, I feel like that's the bulk of Akano's
Alrighty.
plotline.
I'm going to be forward thinking, and I'm going to put all of that, or at least ideas of things that we want to address in future chapters in this cell, just so that we've got it here and immediately ready. No, that's not what I wanted you to do.
All right. And so if Akano's plotline is space is dangerous, yo.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Aisha's family's in the lead. They have all the advantages on practical things like, they're they're using a good ship, not the top of the line, but a good ship.
Yeah.
They got out first. They have firepower. What if... Okay, so we know that... I feel like Neela's story could be interesting if it were about sabotage.
So are you thinking someone inside is trying to sabotage Neela?
Yes. What if someone from Aisha's family is trying to sabotage Neela and Aisha finds out about it?
Okay.
And we can have the two of them start talking eventually.
So, what, Aisha and Neela?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's for later. So I feel like, because Neela is interesting if something is trying to sabotage her, because she's literally the ship.
Yes.
And to me, it makes a lot of sense that the people who got the head start would continue to cheat.
Yeah. I can see that.
Maybe. We could go a different direction. Does anyone in the audience have a brilliant idea on what some of these plot lines should be? Because as we said, we don't know where we're going yet. However, let's since we have a good beat on Akano's, let's just play with that for a while.
Okay. I'm for this plan. So we know that Akano is going to be doing the spacewalk. We know that he's got to be a badass pilot. The question is, I think the badass pilot should be... We've talked about space pirates before, and I think that's where this option needs to come in, of being a badass pilot. Hands down.
Okay, but I think we need to tease it first.
Okay.
So okay. I think the first Kano Bishop chapter should be showing that he's a badass pilot, but having his ship take some significant damage.
So then the next one's a spacewalk.
The next two chapters are him dealing with the fact that his spaceship is falling down around him while he's trying to keep pace.
Well, I didn't mean for that text to get so big, but I'm keeping it because I like it.
Well, I think actually that should be the first Akano.
Okay.
Basically, I think this should be he's a badass pilot. He gets off the planet through the debris of the other ships, through all of that, and then he catches up with his family, yelling at him over his shoulder and taking some clever detours, using physics smart. I don't do physics smart, so I don't do word smart either.
Oh my god. I know how this chapter and the Space Pirate chapter both need to end with Akano. So we know that he's a good pilot, and we're going to see that in this chapter. Yeah. And then it just needs to end with... And just be like, Oh no, what was that?
Yes.
And then at the end of the space pirate fight for on Akano's side, Akano needs to be the last chapter in the actual fight. And then you just hear is not again. Oh no, that was worse.
Exactly. Okay. So I think actually Akano needs to take the lead here.
Okay.
Unexpectedly in a broken down piece of trash, but then it breaks. And the second one needs to be him trying to fix it as the other two ships pass him by.
Yep. All right. So there we go. There's that. Okay. And then are you typing for the next Akano chapter? Okay. I'm surprised no one in the audience has any thoughts or feels for Aisha or Neela. I feel betrayed.
I mean, right now Akano is where it's
at. We give and we give and we give, and just our readers and our people just can't give back, Allegra.
Okay.
What happened to your word wrapping? That
I just fixed it.
Okay, you fixed it before I could.
Yes. Okay, so Akano is literally dead. They're dead in the water ahead, but he's trying to fix a spaceship, and then just see the other two ships just flies right by him, and now he's in the last place again. So all the clever flying did nothing.
Yes.
Other than break his ship.
Yep.
Okay. So I feel like this is where we have had a success, fail. My instinct is have him get his ship back to limping so that he can get a part that he needs or get something that he needs.
So
maybe something off of one of the other ships. What if he gets just fast enough to get onto Neela's ship and pry a bolt of some kind loose and have Neela just be furious at him as he installs a bit of her onto his ship? Because he wanted them to mess with each other the whole way, right?
I mean, I do. I don't like the connotation that we're implying of I'm taking parts off of someone to attach them to my ship to make me run better.
I mean, yes, but also it fits the setting.
You're not wrong.
And it can be a non-bio part. It can be like one of Neela's extra rockets. It could even be a part that's Cyber sold them to begin with.
Oh. Okay.
So Akano catches up to Neela and does a daring spacewalk to steal a rocket or something, one of the solar fuel cells that she got at the beginning.
Yes. Okay.
Because his ship now has the super fast engine. It just needs fuel.
Yeah.
Because it was never installed on their capital ship. It's now in his dinky ship, taking up like 2/3 of it.
All right, so there's that.
Okay, and let's leave the last one clear because we don't know what's going to happen by this point.
Fair. I'm thinking at this point is where we would run into the space pirates.
Yeah, that's kind of my expectation as well. So I think we should figure out what the other two, because that's a nice little 3-part arc. That's a crisis is born, an attempt is made to fix it, and then a failed attempt is made to fix it, and a successful attempt is made to fix it.
Yeah.
That's a nice 3-part structure for Akano in the middle. I like it.
Okay. All right. So now we've got Aisha, Still, and Neela.
Mm-hmm.
We gave Neela green. Okay.
Yep.
I got to that one first. Suck it.
But I just broke it.
I'm breaking it further. It's okay.
Fine, break it further. We'll fix it later.
Yep.
All right. So, let's talk about Neela.
Okay. So, I think Neela needs to consistently be, with the exception of this moment with Akano, where he's running slower, I think Neela needs to, at all times, be in last place.
Yeah, she's not meant for racing.
Yeah. So I think Neela, we want to do the sabotage still? So
maybe. I feel like Akano has just kind of done that.
Well, Akano's done small sabotage. I think both parties sabotaging Neela in some way, shape, or form makes sense because it makes our idea for how this story wraps up with Neela so much sweeter.
It's true, because Neela has to be the good person who forgives and doesn't want anyone to die in the vacuum of space. Just because they stole some energy cells or tried to do a sabotage.
Yeah.
Like, that's not worth a death sentence.
Yeah.
Also,
it just means I'm in charge of this new planet.
Yeah.
Okay. So Neela is in last behind and converses with Biopunk head of house. And I think in this one the Biopunk head of house needs to be conversing with Neela while they are moving through space.
Yeah. We haven't introduced the Biopunk head of house yet as a POV, and I think that should be the red POV in this section.
Okay.
Because we've done the other two, and I feel like they're important POVs that just get less screen time. I feel like each one of them is going to get like 2 chapters by the end of the book.
Okay. But I don't think that necessarily here's where we want to put him.
Well, not necessarily right there, but somewhere in this 4-chapter interlude.
You mean this section? In this section here, right? The first section of part 2?
Yeah.
I think we should do it in the first 8.
I kind of disagree because we've already met Apollo and we've already met Jensen.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Ignore me. Ignore me. I'm wrong. Klaus was slowly slipping in between my legs and making life more uncomfortable.
And he finally arrives on the very last page. I mean, genuinely, I would read that story. I feel like we're getting but yeah, no. I feel like Neela's ship kind of being the tortoise of the bunch.
Yeah.
Works really well. The perfectly serviceable slow cargo hauler.
Yeah. They just have a lot of junk that can fit in that trunk.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a problem with Neela's story. It needs to have conflict.
Okay.
So having a conversation is interesting at all, but it doesn't provide conflict.
Well, I was about to cover that. I hadn't gotten that far.
Okay.
God, you're so impatient.
I am impatient.
You're a monster. Yeah. They have lost the ability to apparently... There we go. Much better. All right. But anyway, I'm thinking while Neela is talking with the Biopunk head of household, I think Neela needs to be noticing that something is wrong. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what leads to like Neela starting to investigate why does like my right arm tingle? It's not supposed to tingle. Wait, I don't even have an arm.
Okay, I'm starting to think. The problem here is, why would they sabotage this? Why would they have thought to sabotage this ship? I feel like this only works if in the Aisha chapter, the Solar family makes a conscious choice to do something horrid.
Okay.
Like, I feel like the causal chain, because I mean, really, they already blew up the Bio family's big ship. This ship is coming in last. I think the only way this particular plotline works, which I like the idea of the plotline, it only works if the Solar family is just kind of not playing like fair, and I don't think they would. That's the thing. I mean, I don't see why the people in the lead who are doing great, who think that they've already won the race, would bother wasting their time and resources on messing with the ship behind them.
Well, I mean, you have especially if they have like the moral superiority complex, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to keep them from getting ahead of me. We're better than them, but how dare they even think they could challenge us? Is an option. Another option could be that, I mean, the one thing I see that's a problem with the sabotage is if they blew up the other ships, how did they get a saboteur on board?
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think that works. So I think we should just shelve that idea for a second.
Okay.
Okay. There's being pressure put on Neela to get there faster.
Yes.
Neela is a ship. What is something that only a ship could think up or do to pick up some speed or to win?
On a scale of villainous to normal, what do you want me to suggest here?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, is there a I kind of feel like interacting with a bunch of like AI objects within their solar system to like battering ram the solar ship would be really cool. Like, she's getting all of the like, weird asteroid belt robots and little pieces of space junk that have any sort of AI, and hacking them and having them be her own little bludgeoning weapons, like a horde of like light speed mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Trying to hamper the people at the lead, because like she knows she can't go faster. What she needs to do is slow down the people in front.
Okay. So receiving pressure to move faster, Neela reaches out through Tay-Web, using Tay-Web as the example here for the interwebs, that we figure out that one later.
Yeah.
And hacks into smaller AI cruisers to try to impede Solar Punk family progress. All right.
And I feel like she needs to make some success. I feel like she has to have some early success.
Yeah.
Because if not, she's too far back in the race.
I think what we should do is I think the Aisha chapter here needs to move up to this point where we see the reaction from this.
Yeah. I'm going to ignore these lines here. I'm actually going to get rid of them. Because I think we are moving into the many, many moving borders part of this game.
Yes, we are.
Or I could not be able to, and I'll do it later. We'll just ignore them for now. All right.
Or you could ask me to take care of it.
Well, yes, but it's fine. We can do it later. Anyways, so I feel like having an Aisha chapter, having a introduce the head of the, I feel like this is where the head of the bio family should be pressuring Neela.
Okay.
So if you want to find a name, maybe poll the audience while I write up the description of this chapter. Go right
I was
ahead.
going to go look to see if we had one, but that works. Hey, audience type people that are watching this stream. So we need a name for the head of the biopunk family. Make it creepy. Make it weird. Make it awkward. Awkward. Is that what we want? Anyway, so guys, throw in the chat. Ideas for some names. Give me your delicious names. And I'm gonna pick my favorites. And for anyone that might be new to the stream, yes, this is what we do. We just ask you to give us things. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I mean, today it doesn't seem that all of our audience wants to dance to our strings, but I mean,
So my thought is, in this chapter, we have the head of the bio family puts pressure on Neela to slow down the solar family and gives us some tidbits about why they have dirt on Neela and why Neela should do as told. Like,
ooh.
This is the moment when you find out that Neela is not just Neela. Like, there is something more to Neela's past, and we pepper that in as the beginning of a mystery.
Okay. All right. So we've received one name, and honestly, I kind of like the name that we've received of Eben Scorian.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you and everything you do.
Ah, sorry, wrong thing.
That was not the right thing.
This one, fantastic name, Eben Scorian. Oh, I love it.
All right, so there we go.
All right, so then we have this Aisha chapter here in front. And I think this is a good time. So they're in the lead. Let's put ourselves in the mindset of actually Apollo Parson, the head of Solar.
Okay.
I'm cool. I'm in the lead. I just firebombed the hell out of these people who have been irritating me my whole life.
My entire culture, remember, personality-wise at the very least, he lives in as much of a utopia as he has been able to create within this hellhole of a planet.
Yes. He's feeling pretty damn good about himself right now.
One might even say smug.
One might even say smug. So what is his niece, daughter, whoever Aisha is? I think daughter. I think she married someone and changed her name. Like,
okay.
I think she just has had enough of her family for years. What if Aisha is thwarted in an attempt to get on an escape pod with her kids and fly home?
But well, hang on. No, she can't leave because remember we were going to have the diner area where the diner was the ship. So her literally her source of living is here.
This is fair. Okay. So at this point, she either is trying to she could be sabotaging her family. She could just be done with this.
How dare they drag me along on this?
We already seen that she has a tendency towards sabotaging her family.
Okay.
So what if we give the sabotage plot to Aisha and we make her the saboteur?
All right. So how do we want Aisha to sabotage her?
This is...
Okay, I've got a terrible idea, and I want to make sure that I'm understood before I go any further. The child labor is bad. But what if Aisha uses her kids to try to sabotage the ship?
Or at least distract her dad.
Yeah.
I feel like the grandkids that he never gets to see because Aisha just doesn't like him. Again, and I really want the doesn't like him not to be some deep enmity. He's just a big personality, and she's done with it.
He's a big personality, and especially like at times like these where he thinks he's gotten one-upmanship over the other
She
families when he's
hates it when he's smug.
this smug jerk, and
It
it's not
annoys her
someone
because
she
he's
wants to
right
be around.
so often.
Yeah.
Like, I want this guy to actually be as tough and as smart as he thinks he is. He's just really smug about it.
Josh has given us a great answer to what I wanted to state earlier, and that is that child labor laws don't apply when they are your kids. So,
all right, I think that the idea that Aisha wants to sabotage her own family ship works great as a proactive plot for her.
okay, so deciding to try to create some mayhem for Daddy Dearest.
In retribution.
Retribution for dragging her along on this Goram adventure. Let's see. Aisha uses.
So she's not going to do anything that will harm the ship because her kids are on board.
Of course, yeah.
She's not going to do anything that will harm life support. She's not going to. What she wants is for them to have to turn around.
Yes.
And whatever she tries first needs to have the opposite effect of having her dad be like, and now we really must go and get there. Like, I feel like she's already had one failure, but this needs to be your second failure.
Okay. What if she uses her kids to distract Daddy while she manufactures some report of something going bad back on the homeworld?
What if she hits Dad where she knows he's weakest? Money.
All right. And well, yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Is like something goes bad with the resource, with whatever the unobtainium is that they generate.
They've been mining, yes.
That they've been mining. You know, what if something goes bad there? So they're like, wait, no, we got to go back. And then he can be like, no, we must go forward.
Even more reason that cesspit is now running out of resources. The hope is in the future. I like it.
Yes. Apollo, while she doctors up.
What if she asks Econo for help with this? As a thank you, you owe me one for getting you that part. Now help me hack this.
I think that needs to come after. Okay. Because I think it's not unreasonable that sitting down at her daddy's computer to use it, she probably, I mean, let's be honest, most kids know their parents' passwords at some point in time to use the computers. And also, to be fair, most parents don't change their passwords that often.
Yeah, but this is in the far future. That may not be the case.
My statement doesn't change.
I feel like it's missing something, but we'll figure that out later.
Yeah.
All we know is that some kind of sabotage back on their home planet, which has the opposite effect that she'd hoped.
Apollo shakes fist at those behind him and declares they must move faster.
Maybe she makes it look like the other two families paid back and there's trouble. Because they did blast their ships.
Yeah. Riots, I'm just leaving it as something is going wrong back on home planet. We can figure that out. We can fill that hole in later. And Apollo decides they must move faster.
Yes. All right. Then that leads nicely into the next couple chapters. All right.
And then here we can have Aisha reach out to Akano to be like, yo, help me. What can we do?
Yes.
I
I feel like this is the point in the story where Aisha decides that she wants Akano to win. Or Neela to win, just anyone but her dad.
Okay.
So I think Aisha maybe reaches out to both Neela and Akano. Because we need the characters to interact, right?
Yes.
These can't be just independent stories. I like the idea of the first arc kind of being an independent story here. But I feel like for the next three sequences, they need to be interacting with each other. And Aisha being the go-between between them all makes a lot of sense because she already has been.
Except her father. There we go. So my question is, how are we including Akano in this entire communication with Aisha, though, when Akano has to be fixing his ship for 2 chapters?
Headset.
Yeah.
Like, he can literally just be talking to them through his interface.
This is what I get for writing too much fantasy.
Like, all Aisha needs... She already probably has some kind of way of contacting him because, again, they just did their spaceport heist together.
Yeah.
So, I feel like she now knows that, who Akano is, who Neela is, decides, let's get together, and Aisha's just like, okay, guys, I want either of you to win it. I just want my dad stopped.
Yeah. I just want to go back home and run my diner. I don't want to do anything else. Please, just end this.
So, please. Like, can we agree to be allies until the very end, and then you two can fight it out once we've stopped my dad? And I feel like the three of them agreeing independently of their families to work together to close the gap is the correct action.
Okay. So instead of Akano then stealing from Neela, I think Neela slows down then.
No, I feel like that's the sort of thing that leave it for now, because that could be a great twist. That could be a great, they're getting close enough that Akano now decides
time to pull a betrayal.
I feel like this trust is going to only go so far.
Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
So I feel like in this case, we have the next Akano chapter is he's trying to fix his spaceship. So let's pull that Akano chapter up one. And and I'm going to, why don't we have, as Aisha's spaceship is passing by, she drops something that he needs.
All right. So add in all right. So I add in that Akano sees something floating in space that is a thing that he needs to fix his ship. As a reminder, everyone, by the way, I know we've got this up on the screen for everyone's viewing pleasure, but you can follow along. There is a link to this document in the video's description, just as a reminder.
In case you want to, scroll and read.
Yes.
Because I can't read on screens, other than the fact that I'm reading on a screen. Guys, I'm on so many meds right now.
On a scale to from 1 to not as think as you drunk I am, officer. Where are you?
So many allergy meds. I'm on this many allergy meds. The amount of Benadryl in my system is enough to topple several kingdoms of pollen people.
Those were words. And I'm not quite certain how well they went together.
Let's go back to plotting, the thing I'm good at.
I'm not certain I trust you anywhere near this document now. I'm also now wondering about how red I can make you if I keep making you laugh.
Don't try, please. RAC is struggling. I'm so warm.
Okay.
All right. So the next question being, where do we go from here?
Okay. So we know that what we're doing here is Aisha drops the thing, organizes that Akano needs.
Now Aisha has helped him twice.
Yep.
Akano owes her something big.
Yep. I already know what that something big is gonna be. And it's not a third child.
I was about to say.
No, it's simple. The space pirates are going to start by attacking the solar family.
Yeah.
So clearly Aisha's going to call in the, yo, I need to call in those favors.
My kids are in danger. Come help us. And Akano gets to swoop in and be a white knight. In his
then maybe spaceship. A third child.
Then maybe a third child.
If we want to push the I'm the hero, so therefore the lovely damsel in distress must automatically fall madly in love with me.
No, I feel like it's more like, yeah, now we're even. Would you like to go on a date?
Okay, fair enough. I didn't realize how pretty you were.
I mean, they're having a meet cute as they do a heist together.
Oh, that's true. They do have the meet cute there. Okay.
I feel like having a through line of Aisha, Neela, and Akano, like essentially in a voice chat together or an instant messaging chat together through the entire thing from the point in time when Aisha makes this contact would be great. It lets them constantly be bickering and talking in the back channels where their families can't see.
I wanted to be like, we should have that as interludes throughout the entire book, and I was like, that's too late in the book to start doing interludes.
No, but I think having IM conversations be a regular part of this narrative structure means that when those start being introduced, it's really fluid.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that. We can make that work.
All right, so this is the moment when we've seen Aisha stay true to this idea of let's work together.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Akano benefit from it. We need Neela to do something. She's currently, swarming the solar ship, which is fine with Aisha.
What if? Because what if the Neela decides to take a different path, thinking there's a shortcut? I like that. And Neela is running into an asteroid field because, there's a lot, yes, an asteroid field is a staple in any kind of sci-fi thing, but you do get a lot more interesting when you've got literally the ship being like, oh God, that hit me in the side. Oh God. Oh, that hurt. Ow. Ow, ow.
Alternatively, so, all right, Akano was in the lead, but they're dead in the water. Aisha just zoomed past him, but dropped a part he needs.
Yes.
Neela is passing him next.
Yes.
So can we have a Neela Akano chapter here? Or alternatively, do we need one of the heads of house chapters there?
Well, it's been 4 chapters since our head of house, so we could do going back up to Jensen. What else? We need to have our Akano chapter here, unless we want to put a Neela chapter here first.
I don't think we need to have a regular. We don't have a regular rotation.
Currently what we've got for this Econo chapter, we've got that he sees the other two ships go ahead of him.
Mm-hmm.
So he sees that one of them drops the thing. The other one, in theory, Neela does something as well, and Econo then can fix up his ship from there.
Okay, what if in this chapter, what if in this chapter we're going back to the head of Cyber?
Okay.
So what if in this chapter, the head of Cyber tries to do something to Neela, and Econo helps Neela in Neela's chapter?
Okay. So first things first. Let me go paste there. And then I think Jensen uploads a virus into Neela.
I love it.
Jensen seeing everyone getting ahead of him and realizing that Apollo's family is too far ahead,
mm-hmm.
decides to upload a virus into Neela that causes something to malfunction in her bionic code.
Yes. Excellent. And now we get to have the Neela React chapter. And we can have Aisha and Econo help.
Neela panics,
mm-hmm.
calls out to Aisha and Econo for help. What we could do is we could do Econo's sudden but inevitable betrayal.
I have something.
I think we're on the same page.
Under the pretext of stealing some solar power, he actually fixes her.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I think he does steal the solar power.
Oh, absolutely.
But in this case, Neela knows, and he's like, yeah, no, go for it, bet. Putting a note of expressing Neela's pain from the virus and potentially creating a loss of life scenario aboard Neela.
Oh yeah. So Econo is literally spacewalking over to Neela, stealing fuel and plugging in a USB chip, B drive, essentially, sneakily, to keep Neela and the people on board alive. Because I feel like Neela's life support is out.
Yes. Okay. So what are we doing with Aisha?
I feel like Aisha needs to help with the whole life support situation somehow.
Okay.
Until Econo can catch up.
Okay. How?
What if... What if Aisha talks Neela and the people... No, never mind. So, okay. Let's think here.
Aisha is good at running a diner and taking care of people.
Mm-hmm. What if Aisha just calms Neela down?
I was about to say the exact same thing. Like, what if Neela enters into like a panic attack, or something of that nature, and Aisha like helps Neela through it
at the expense of being caught doing so.
Ooh, yeah. Are you typing that out or am I?
I can type it out.
Okay, cool. I like this. This is coming together in a very fun way.
Here we go. So Aisha helps keep Neela calm as her systems start failing, at the expense of being caught doing so. She goes offline abruptly, leaving the other two hanging and worrying about what happened to her.
All right. And that runs really well into Apollo's.
Sure. Is Apollo the villain of this story?
Yes.
Okay, guys, we finally found our villain. Took us a while.
Let's see.
Although, like, he means badly, but all of them, all the heads of family mean badly. Like, one of them is setting a virus. I feel like the villains are just the heads of household.
Yeah, they're all their own villains. Like,
yeah,
it's such a specific, like, and it's not really they're not like big bad evil guy villains. They're more like villains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, complete with that sound effect.
Yes.
And the twirling of the mustache. But okay.
All right.
So Apollo, I'm smug, I'm winning, and I find out my daughter
has been sabotaging us.
Has been working with that cyberpunk punk.
Uh-huh. And that weird ship.
Yes. This entire time.
All the way from the spaceport.
So the question I have, I mean, I almost want him to be like, are you in, what are you doing? Like, are you in love with that punk? Are you in love with that ship?
Oh, what if, no. What if this is the chapter that actually sheds light on Neela's story? What if Apollo tells his daughter a cautionary tale? Ooh. About why we don't play with the other two?
Okay.
Like, he wouldn't hurt her. He loves her. He'd lock her in her room. He'd be disappointed. He wouldn't let her near any controls. But, like, he's not gonna hurt her. That's not the guy he is. I don't want that to be the guy he is.
Okay. So, Aisha and her children.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think this needs to be a cautionary tale for all of them.
For the family.
This is a family affair.
Yes.
And explains Neela's history, not knowing
realizing that it's Neela.
Neela is Neela. Rename Neela in this story. Who left to marry into the
cyberpunk
family, and then mysteriously
vanished, assumed dead. And the rat bastard biopunks didn't side with us.
Did nothing to help us find our missing or the missing member of our family.
Yeah.
None of them can be trusted ever.
We're locking you in your diner.
Also, until you learn your lesson, you are confined to your diner and home and nowhere else. I am robot.
All right, so Neela is feeling better now.
All right.
But she's at the back of the pack again.
Yep. Back of the race. Cannot.
Now it's time to bring some pirates.
Now it's time to bring some pirates.
Like now, okay. Every character has had a chance to establish something, have a confrontation, fail at something, succeed at something. Like we are in a really good place here to finally start the final leg of the race.
All right. Okay, so all right, so I've got just space pirates. Oh god, oh gods.
Okay.
Self-explanatory. The battle's going to start here, and I think the battle needs to end with Econo and then go into a Neela chapter.
Well, here's the thing. Before we go Space Pirates, oh god, oh god.
Okay.
The final act is Space Pirates, oh god, oh god, leading us into the final act, where it's fight space pirates, race the last leg to the planet.
See, I think it should be fight space pirates, everyone's disabled except Neela. Neela goes, saves people, they all land on planet.
So, well, here's the question. The conflict of the last act.
Okay.
Are we going to survive the landing? Is it who's going to get there first? Is it there are space pirates chasing all of us and now we have to work together? Like, what is the conflict of the final act?
Okay, I see what you're going. Okay, so yeah, I think then Space Pirates needs to be the end of the final act. Or it needs to be the final act, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
because that's when everyone comes together.
But having a slightly longer final act wouldn't be horrible. Like, I'm okay with having one Neela chapter here. I don't think we need another Aisha chapter yet because we just had an Apollo chapter. So like one Neela and one Econo, and then jumping into the third act.
Okay.
Like, right. I think we could establish space pirates coming in here, but I think that we have two people who have so far really, like, both Econo and Neela are only still floating because of Aisha.
Yes.
And she just went offline.
Yes.
I feel like now they both have a personal stake in catching up to Solar.
Okay. Okay, so Neela feeling better. Okay. Neela feels better after obviously the upload of the antivirus.
Mm-hmm.
So I think next is Econo leaves Neela a surprise. Something to help either run her code more efficiently or something.
We'd already said that.
No, I thought
performance update.
Oh, okay. I missed that. My bad. I was only thinking about healing her from the virus, not performance updates. But okay, so Neela finds the updates as feeling better, and I think it's here we could have Neela realize the gifts that Econo has given her.
Yes.
And then she finds a way to, I guess, absorb power from the sun a little bit more efficiently, or however she's using her energy to do it more efficiently to speed herself up.
Okay.
Alternatively.
Yeah, I'm not loving that. It's not as high motion as we've just had, and I feel like it needs to build.
I got you because I just thought of the idea.
Okay.
Okay, so instead of that, scrap that entire idea that
Mm-hmm.
that the upgrades that Akano gave her fixes her and makes her faster, or them faster. I think Neela, Akano catches up and blazes past them.
Mm-hmm.
And then she shoots out like a grappling hook or something that latches onto one of his wings and so gets towed along in the back.
Still don't love that.
Okay, fair enough.
I feel like the physics get wonky.
Yeah.
I feel like this is where okay, so let's think of Neela as a person.
Okay.
Neela, throughout all of this, has had the least skin in the game as far as winning.
Mm-hmm.
And the most, like, genuinely just likes everyone and is cool with everyone. Also, she has a personal connection to all three houses. She doesn't want any of them to die.
Correct.
So I think this is where we need to introduce the space pirates as a looming threat.
Okay.
Because think about it. She has the most to lose if all three of the ships go down.
Yeah. Or even if any of them go down.
Any of them go down. She has family on every ship.
Okay.
She's worried about Aisha. Akano is zooming ahead at full top speed towards Aisha because he's worried.
Mm-hmm.
What if she notices pirates coming up behind them and finds a way to slow the pirates down just enough for her to catch up and get a message? Yo, we need to start working together. We have a problem.
Okay.
Because again, she has all these bots and weird AI little things, and like she could do some damage to a pirate fleet to slow them down just a little bit. And we can make them big and scary.
Okay, so Neela sees Akano catch up and zoom past them, sighs, and thinks to themselves that it would have been nice to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
When, dear God, what's that coming up behind us? Oh no, space pirates. No bueno. Must warn the others. Give a Neela is badass scene here.
Yes, perfect. And now I think this is the Akano trying to save Aisha scene.
All right.
Right? Or do we actually no, let's end part 2 there.
Okay.
That establishes the tension of part 3. I think that's a better ending for part 2.
Okay. Yay! We completed part 2.
Only took us an hour and 15 minutes.
Who's counting?
Honestly, that's pretty fast for an entire part of a novel. We're doing good here.
I mean, that's just plotting. Do remember, just plotting, not writing.
Well, yeah.
But also, who's counting? I'm not counting. Why are you counting?
I'm counting.
Shame.
I know. So much shame.
Okay. So now we have Akano. Now, are we having Akano dive in to saving Aisha, or do we want to have him focus instead on the pirates?
That is a good question.
Because if he focuses on Aisha, okay, he can check in on this woman that he's maybe starting to develop a kind of feels for, and maybe wants to save her. But also, if she dies from space pirates, he can't be like, yo, girl, you want to go on a date with me or something? Yeah, I know that was terrible, and everyone should feel bad.
Terrible. No one wants to go on a date with Akano now. He's lost date privileges forever.
Oh no, it's not forevers. What about five ever? Well, you didn't say five ever, so I mean maybe we can come back from this.
I'm not so sure.
I have faith in us.
All right. So first of all, let's just fill in these chapters here. I do think that Apollo Parson should get one extra head of household chapter because I think he's the one who most has to have a character arc where he grows.
Okay.
So I think he does get a, maybe he does. We'll see. I'm gonna pull this one down here. We'll see if he gets one.
Yeah. I can accept that.
I'm just going to kind of scatter these about a minute. All right. So let's actually start with the end.
All right.
Because this is the point, dear watchers. If you've watched my mice videos, there's a art to structuring the ends and beginnings of novels. And the best way to describe them is like HTML code. If you start with something, you should end with something, and then go in, the brackets kind of contract. So we know that we want to start and end with kind of mirrored imagery. Not a rule, but a rule my personal philosophy. We started this with Akano working on a ship to get the fuck out of town and never see these people again. I feel like the book needs to end with Akano saying, actually, this is a pretty great place to be. Hey, girl, you want to go on a date?
You're fired.
Why am I fired?
Because you said that I was bad. Okay. So.
Like, this world stinks too, but.
All right. So, yeah, the ending is decides not to leave his family and asks Aisha out on a date.
Yes.
Okay.
To
what she says now. She has to think about her kids, man.
I think Aisha's gonna look at him and be like, ask me again after I've had a good night of sleep and I've had a shower. I'll probably say yes, but no promises. No, I think she should say yes. I think this needs to have a feel-good ending.
Okay.
Or maybe we could totally go decide.
with we could totally go with the ask me again after I've taken a nap and have gotten a shower and made sure my kids are, bathed and everything. It goes through that whole thing. And then is like, by the way, the answer is yes. And then goes, I'll take care of her kids.
Perfect. or hey, I'd like to take you on a date. We're on a deserted planet. Okay, fine. I'll do the cooking. Have it in my restaurant. I'll close down for the night. There's only one place in town to go for a date, and literally where I work and live.
And own. And operate.
Yes. You have to tip well.
He'll give more than just the tip.
You're fired. All right. So
sorry.
That's how we're ending Ikano's. Obviously ending Neela's by making peace between the families and getting everyone to ground safely.
Yes.
All right. So Aisha's big thing was she ends up kind of inundated by her family, so I feel like she needs to take the reins of her family here.
Okay.
What if we have something happen to her dad? Not like dead, just like a moment of contrition or something that makes him like hand over the decision making to Aisha.
All right. All right.
Okay.
All
so
right.
that's our final sequence.
Yes.
Which means that by this chapter, working backwards, both Ikano's ship and Aisha's ship have to be in trouble.
In trouble, if not, serious trouble. Everyone might die. It's a bad news bears.
Yeah, I feel like Neela can literally maybe it's like grow some cool arms as they're going through atmosphere and like hug them to the ground.
No. What I'm thinking, similar, but I think what needs to happen is like Neela grabs hold of both ships and
just like, for the record, Neela needs some romance too, and maybe what should be one of the pirate ships. I'm not opposed to this.
I'm not certain how we're going to make that work.
I don't think we're actually going to make it work, but at least in my headcanon, Neela, if there's a book 2, definitely has an illicit romance with a pirate.
Okay. But if we're doing this, I need to go back to the, oh my god, how much junk is in that trunk from a pirate ship that needs to be said because Neela's a cargo ship. This pun needs to be there, and if it's not, I quit and I'm walking.
That is acceptable.
Okay.
Dear Justin.
I'm glad that my request has been acquiesced to. Okay, so that being said, I still kind of want a spaceship to or one of the pirate ships to say that during this sequence of the battle. But anywho, I think what needs to happen is I think Neela needs to, I think like grows arms, or not necessarily arms, but like just hands that just reaches out and grabs both ships and attaches them to Neela.
What if Neela's the kind of cargo ship that's like the front of a long hauler truck? She's used to attaching to other big things.
Well, there's so many terrible jokes that can be made there.
Well, yes, but you get the imagery, though.
Yeah, no, I get the imagery. Like, just stuff just gets attached to Neela, and Neela just carries it wherever it needs to go.
And then detaches it. Like, I think that's the kind of cargo ship that she is. She isn't a load it all into her, the cargo bay. She is has like probably gravity plates or something playing to keep everything balanced and the loads balanced and all of that.
And now I'm going to sound super gross, but also kind of creepy and absolutely biopunkish. And then, like, the flesh from her, like, grows and molds and encases, like, parts of it to attach it. And I think, like, Neela's got a bunch of, like, airlock functionality that can just be created on them.
Yeah, so that
like, for an extra ship
attaches to the ships, like, the people from those ships will be able to get on to, like, the bridge of Neela's ship. So the final scenes can be like on the bridge of Neela.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we've at least come up with how this works. Because dear God, My original idea was just Neela lands and like attaches to the ship like an air dock for them all to climb on board, and then does it for Ikanos, and that wasn't going to be as fun.
No. So in that case, I feel like then we have the first 3 chapters here, I think, is where they take a whole bunch of damage. The second little piece is where they all have to attach together and fight back together. Like, basically, I think by the middle of the 3rd act, they need to be one ship.
Okay.
This needs to be a brutal, fast pirate battle.
So I'm thinking of removing, like, we shouldn't do Jensen's. I think what we need is Apollo's somewhere in here. Either Ebbins needs to turn into Apollo's, or we need to move Ebbins up.
We can move Ebbins up.
Potentially to fit. Apollo needs to be, I think, Apollo needs to be the last person on and the most adamant about not joining this endeavor to work together until the end, where he's like, okay, fine.
Yeah, we'll figure that out as we go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take these out so we see where we're at. I think that this is like this Neela chapter here needs to be the Neela manages to grab both ships.
Okay. I like that idea. All right, so I'm thinking here, this Akano scene at the beginning. I think it should start with Akano rushing to save Aisha, and then turns around to fight the space pirates, knowing that that's the better fight.
Something like that. Definitely, yeah. I think races forward to save Aisha.
Okay. Okay. Do we want Eben being kind of a dick here? And being like, no, let the other...
Cyberpunk literally tried to kill them just now. Last time they interacted with Cyber. I feel like there needs to be repercussion here with Eben.
Yeah.
And I think this needs to be a chapter where Eben, like, gets schooled by Neela.
Okay. I think Eben orders Neela to attack the cyberpunk ship going towards the space pirates so the space pirates can get rid of them.
Can you repeat that?
Basically, where Eben is telling Neela to attack Ikano's ship
and disable it so
the space pirates can it. Yeah. And we can entirely have Neela like being like, no, I refuse. I'm not doing that.
Okay, here's a question. Why aren't we opening with that?
We could do that. I mean, the only thing that we've got a problem with is it's close to Apollo's chapter, but I mean, I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Eben. What if Eben opens a channel to the pirates?
Okay.
Arguing that the other 2 ships have more value than a cargo freighter?
Yep.
And that he'll gladly help them take the other 2 down if they'll let him pass. only to then have his comm start misbehaving horribly as Neela takes over.
Yeah. I like it.
And what if, in retribution, he sends a message about who Neela is to the others?
Okay. Well, hang on. If Neela's already been already started to interrupt his comms, how does he get that out?
What if Neela actually eats him?
Well, hang on. I don't think eat is the appropriate word for a biopunk scenario. I think she absorbs him,
cocoons him,
and melds him into Neela so that Neela can become stronger, better.
No, I don't like it.
Faster. We could start the plan of Neela becoming the villain of the sequel.
No. Okay, there are people still suggesting a pirate romance. I'm just not sure we can put in another romance at this late stage in the book, so I don't think that will work.
At least not one that makes sense, and if anyone has read the book that we've already released that is a romance, we like it to make sense at least.
A little bit. My Celica is a questionable judgment.
Listen, we're not talking about my Celica.
Okay, so Eben opens channel to the pirates.
Yeah.
But at this point, okay, I think I found a logical inconsistency we may want to rethink. At this point, Neela has already been slowing them down. What if Eben literally tries to turn Neela off and take control?
Okay.
While doing so, he is trying to turn Neela's consciousness off.
Well, hang on. Wait a minute. Where has Neela been all stopping them? In fact, a lot of this is Neela...
No, stopping the pirates. Wasn't she slowing them down? Or did she just send warning?
No, she was trying to slow down. She was slowing down the pirates and sending warning.
Yeah. So what if Eben is trying to stop Neela from doing this and trying to open a channel with the pirates?
Okay.
Our ship is going rogue. We're turning it off. We don't have any trouble with you, good sirs. We're just a cargo freighter.
Please to leave us alone. By the way, those guys ahead of us, they're certainly tastier. Especially that solar punk dick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
While he's parlaying with the pirates, he's trying to turn Neela off and take, manual controls of the ship, and she is fighting it tooth and nail.
Okay. That works.
Econo, meanwhile, has been notified of pirates and still can't get a hold of Aisha. Where's his head at?
Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, so Econo, I think we can have a very nice moment of internal argument between in Econo of... I'd like this girl's been helping me. She's good people. I'd like to save her and get her out of... I don't know what her father's doing to her. This could be awful. Could be nothing. But space pirates are bad. Okay.
Okay, so what if Aisha's diner is kind of like an add-on to her ship? What if his plan is he knows where her comm is, even if she's not answering it?
Mm-hmm.
He's able to get close enough to get a signal that there is a, adult and 2 children locked in this thing, like this extra little spaceship off of the main spaceship. What if his plan is a zoom by rescue of her entire diner and then to zoom past them? Is that too wacky?
We had originally agreed that the diner was in the middle.
We don't have to, though. I could kind of see it kind of like Inara's shuttle on the Serenity.
Okay.
Maybe there are many of these, kind of like little bubbles on the solar punk ship.
My question is, how does he get the ship off?
What if she could detach? She's just not suitable for long-range travel. So what if he manages to, like, somehow get in contact with her and have her, in the next chapter, detach, and he catches her?
That is incredibly over the top and ridiculous. But okay, I'm gonna take this a little bit step further. I'm okay with this plan. What if instead of having her do it specifically, he guides her through it, because she's not, like, part of the reason she didn't do it in the first place is she's not a skilled pilot.
She's not a skilled pilot.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what if we set it up in the Econo chapter, we pull it off in the Aisha chapter. His goal is he gets close enough to see the situation, he reestablishes comms, he convinces her of the plan, and then in the Aisha chapter, she enacts the plan with him talking her through it.
Okay. Cool. Her kids locked on their diner / ship thing. Econo manages to reestablish comms, and
maybe by, like, hacking into her point of sale system or something. Hacking into her cash register.
No. We're gonna, because this is the future, and it only makes sense that the Internet of Things is going to get bigger. Yes, I'm going full IT for a moment. I'm sorry, guys. It makes sense that the Internet of Things is going to get bigger and bigger, and everything's just going to be attached to the network. Clearly, he hacks into her speaker system to communicate with her.
Perfect.
And be like, hey, I can't hear you, but you can hear me, so figure out a way to communicate back real quick so I know that you're hearing me, but this is my idea.
Yeah.
By hacking her speaker system in her diner, convinces her that he will walk her through breaking her ship off and attaching it to his. With Econo's help, manages to break off and get to Econo
just as the pirates make it there.
Just as the pirates open fire on all three of them.
Yes. Perfect. High stakes juggling of small ships full of small kids.
Yes. Klaus, what?
I feel like here is where we get into an ethical dilemma that will be really fun to play with. I think that Neela should try to, when I think that Econo and Aisha's now ships should take a direct hit and be super, super in bad shape.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to add that to the Aisha chapter.
Yeah.
That's all what I wanted. Econo's ship takes a direct hit and is in a bad shape.
Then I think
bad times.
Neela comes in and saves them. And then the ethical dilemma comes. Do we save Solar?
Well, I mean, we already have the ethical dilemma. Does Neela save Jensen, who tried to kill her and her entire family?
Well, she just did. That's Cyber. Econo's ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the part of the problem. Like, because Jensen uploaded the virus into Neela.
What if we actually put a Jensen chapter before the Neela chapter?
Okay. All right. Hey, no, that's not what I wanted. There we go. That's what I wanted.
Okay, Jensen just took a hit.
Mm-hmm. Not consistently, Josh. Not consistent. Not all speakers are microphones, and not all microphones are speakers. Not always. Now, is it more likely that they'll be so in the future?
Yes.
Probably.
So we probably should act. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing that we can figure out as we go.
Not important now.
Yes. All right. So Jensen needs to realize his ship is hit and beg for help.
Okay. So.
And get in a conversation with Neela.
Hang on. Wait, hang on. Gotta put in quotes his.
Mm-hmm.
And his family. He gets in contact with Neela. Okay. Neela comes in, swoops in, swoops in and saves them. Highlight in background, Solar fighting space pirates.
Mm-hmm. Maybe this is where I think Apollo needs to be like, at some point here soon, I think Apollo needs to be like, listen, guys, we're going down. I know my daughter's on board. Get her down to the ground, whatever it takes.
Okay.
That has a beautiful moment of redemption for Apollo.
Okay.
I think that should be his last chapter. We can move it up, though. And then I think Akano and Aisha and Neela have to decide to go back for Solar.
Okay. So I don't think we actually have to move Apollo's chapter here. I think Akano just.
No, I think we need to. I think we need.
I think we can do the reaction to him asking for Aisha to be saved. I think we do that from Akano's chapter, and we can have Apollo having his change of heart and his redemption or whatever near the end.
Okay. So Akano, they can see the planet by now.
Yeah. The planet. Akano, Aisha, and friends are all in Neela's cockpit.
Mm-hmm.
There is a momentary dilemma of whether or not to attack the space pirates
or go for the planet.
Apollo contacts their comes and convinces them and pleads with them to save his daughter and grandchildren and go for the planet. He will take care of the pirates.
All right. I think here is where they, right at the end of that chapter, as they're swerving and dodging, I feel like that Solar needs to take a massive hit.
Okay.
In Aisha's point of view.
Yeah. I also think that with Akano and Neela working together, I think they should go back to help Solar.
Oh, absolutely. I think that this is the I think they need to take the hit, and then basically we are seeing Aisha respond to it. And then in Neela's chapter, we see Neela and Akano working together.
Okay. All right. Comms of Solar go dead as the solar ship takes a massive hit. Aisha reaction to this turn of events. And what else are we doing here?
Honestly, I think we're too many chapters in. I think we're already in the ending sequence.
What do you mean?
I think this is the place where Aisha takes charge and says, no, we're going back for Solar. We're doing all of that. And then the next chapter is Neela getting them all to ground. And the final chapter is Akano asking her out on a date. Like, I think we're there. I think we just have a few extra chapters in here.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, massive hit. Then we can just copy the rest from here. Add that in there.
I got the Apollo chapter. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yo, let's fucking go.
All right.
Okay, so really this chapter goes away.
Yep.
These two chapters go away, actually. Okay. And so the last Apollo chapter is Apollo steps out into a new world, meets the other houses face to face with the question, so who got here first?
And Neela's like, I did.
And I'm a member of all three of your families, so you're going to share.
Yep. This is our family, or this is our planet now. Three of us. We're not splitting it. We're sharing it. Suck it, meat.
Yes. And then we end on Akano asking Aisha out on a date.
Da, 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 da. All right. So,
all right, folks, what do you think? We have a plot? Do we have a plot?
Does it sound good? At least for the overarching generic plot, the general plot that we have come up with. We have not delved into actually writing. Don't even know if we're doing first or third person yet. But there you go. Thoughts, concerns, things that itch. Anyone see any plot holes having been through this journey with us that we might have missed?
Thank you for being on this journey with us, because
Also
oh dear
true.
God, that was a trip and a half.
A couple things that I am particularly happy about: the Neela clearing the air and being like, "This is my planet." Also excited about the Kathunk.
Yes, the Kathunk.
And
right,
of course,
so assuming that this is about 2,000 words per chapter, we're looking at a 66K novel, which is perfectly in line with what we were aiming for, which is about 70 to 80. So I think that we're going to have a great novel here.
I think we got a pretty good novel in the head of us. I think it's going to be fun. I think this is going to be interesting.
There aren't any chapters I'm not excited about writing.
Yeah, I'm just particularly more excited about others than I am for most of it. But I mean, they're just, this whole thing is going to be fun.
Yes, I'm pleased. It felt like it jived, and it we'll see how much it changes. Something that you're going to notice as we write is that we probably will deviate dramatically from this at some point.
Allegra and I are not necessarily pantsing writers, which is, just writing as willy-nilly with no plotting. I mean, as you can see, we plotted this whole thing out. But the thing that we also are is we're very in-depth when it comes to getting into the heads of our characters. We both have had moments where it's like, I know we wrote that we're supposed to go in this direction. But actually, I can't see this character going in this direction. So let's go in this one instead. And yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yes.
And we're going to start writing this coming Saturday. at 9 p.m.
Yes, we are.
With a blank Word document.
So, Allegra.
Yes.
So, we gotta think of a poll for this week.
Well, here's the thing. I, being the masochist that I am, have never actually written in front of a whole crowd. Like a big crowd, live on YouTube. So I want this Saturday. I mean, I appreciate everyone who's been with us on the journey thus far, but the real adventure starts next week. So I'm thinking we should do something a little different this week.
Okay.
There is a scout in the prologue. It's the first character we're going to be encountering. I think that we should try to drum up some more audience and invite all our viewers and people who are excited about this to try to drag in their friends, kicking and screaming for this this crazy experiment that we're doing. So my thought is that we should name the scout after the person who either like the person who gets the most viewers, like shares this the most times, or like pick a person at random and every time you share about it you get an entry or something. But I think we should name the first protagonist that we meet after someone who helps bring us in the most amazing and wonderful and like catcalling critique every single time we make an error in punctuation crowd that we can get.
Okay. Bet. So we'll have to figure out then, because I like this idea. This is a good idea. It definitely doesn't add any to the level of terror
and stress that we have.
That we've put on ourselves with this.
No.
It couldn't add at all.
Basically, what we want is for you guys to be the sadistic, wonderful viewers that we know you are.
So, bring in more. We'll figure out a way to keep track of how many people who recommends who and how many people actually bring people in. More than likely, it's probably going to have to be on a note of honesty policy. Like, I'm gonna have faith that all of you don't bullshit us. I would really appreciate none of you bullshit us. So once we figure that portion out, we'll have a system set up for you guys to submit how many people you bring into the channel,
or however many times you share.
Yeah, or something.
Next Saturday's broadcast.
And hopefully, like our goal is to see these numbers. I mean, we've got only 2 people watching right now, and I'd like to see those numbers up. I'd like to see at least 20 people watching next Saturday.
As we strip bare and show you our souls and our ugly, ugly first drafts and all their gory glory. You will see things that you never thought you would see. Like the fact that 2 and 2 in Justin's mind are the same thing. The number of O's does not matter.
It's true. I get my 2's wrong a lot.
And I just don't do words correctly. My typos are notoriously funny and have led to some of the best inside jokes.
Yes, Robert. Hello. You have said hello. Hi, Rob. I'm proud of you.
All right. So thank you all for watching. This has been a blast. As a reminder, please like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. You can always check back in this document to refresh before the next video, or to just kind of get some ideas. And hopefully this process has helped kind of show how at least we plot. Not everyone plots the same way, obviously, but this is our crazy method that kind of works.
At least for us.
Kind of for us. I mean, we're gonna go off beat a lot. We're gonna be pirates here. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Especially you, Rob. Very serious, Rob.
I appreciate you, Rob.
And we will see you next Saturday at 9 with a blank document and terror in our eyes.
I don't do terror. It's not going to work.